Hello and welcome. I'm Gamakasri, Chief Trainer and Coach for Mind Designs International. This is the second video of our series Achieving Your Life Goals. The first video of the series is a certain NLP process that would allow you to check whether you would get started on your goal. This process is PAW process or PO process. It stands for possibility, ability, and worthiness. So if you haven't watched that video, I would urge you to watch it soon after you're done with this video. So in this video, I want to talk to you about motivation. Whether you are motivated to achieve your life goals, and if you're not, what can you do about it? There are multiple criteria that would achieve your motivation to achieve a life goal. And most of it stems from where did that goal come from? How important that goal for you right now? There are a lot of people who are continue to achieve old goals. What are old goals? Old goals are goals that you have already achieved. Once in one of our trainings, Jasri Mata was conducting the training, I was facilitating. So there was this gentleman, he owns multiple businesses. Later we figured out in the conversations that he have had quite a rough childhood. He had to create all his wealth, and he had to learn the wealth creation methodology. He also had to learn English. Now, when this gentleman was asked to set a goal in our NLP training programs, we use the word outcome, not goal. So he was to come up with the outcome for him to achieve, and he selected, I want to improve my English. For a lot of people, that goal or outcome would make sense. Not for him. He is extremely articulative in English. He had a good vocabulary. He had good command of the language. He had a really good accent. He is working on a problem that he has already solved. But why? Because that is an old problem. It hurt him for a long time. Maybe people laughed at him. Maybe he lost businesses. Maybe he lost opportunities in past because of the language barrier. It is not affecting him anymore. Now he goes to other countries, work with foreign clients, bring businesses to Sri Lanka. But there's this part of him that is hurt, which urged him to set that goal. But that's a done goal. It's achieved. It's already solved. Why did I pick that? Because there are a lot of you who do that. When you're asked to select a goal, you would select a goal that you're in a really good place in your life right now. So you should be able to, you need to learn this skill. You need to learn this as a skill. You need to gauge your goal and check whether it is still important for you. It might have been important in your past, but is it still important to you? And is there any other area in your life that you would like to really improve? Area in your life that you are drawing maybe a 0 or any number closer to that instead of 100%. Now select things that are has a lot of room to improvement in your life. So those are the things that are high priority for you. So one factor that affects your motivation to keep going is how important this goal to you right now. The other aspect of the goal is how congruent are you about this goal. What is congruence? Congruence is, are you aligned with this goal, or are there conflicts? If there are conflicts, then there's something about the goal Maybe not the goal itself, but rather the way it is worded, or maybe things that happen in the past in that general territory of that goal. For whatever the reason, you are feeling not connected with that, you are feeling little resistance toward that. This lack of congruence is also a reason why people are not motivated to achieve important life goals. Sometimes people come up to us and say, I want to get married. So what's the problem? There's a lot of hurt in my life when it comes to love and intimacy. So I feel very uncomfortable connecting with another person in the view of getting married. So they want the goal, but they are not congruent. They are not sure about their ability to make it a successful situation for themselves and others. Congruence. If you are struggling with a life goal, there's a good chance either it is an old goal that you don't need anymore, or you are not very congruent about it. Lack of congruent goals also come from your socio-economic, cultural, organizational conditions. If you're part of an organization, if the organization wants to achieve something, they might nominate you to achieve a certain outcome, and you may or may not be fully aligned with that outcome. So if you're not aligned, then you're no longer congruent. So in organizations, we usually request, when organizations set goals, we usually request managers to have a sit down with the employee who've been assigned this goal or objective, and make sure that is something that this employee understand not only they understand how important it is, but also they believe that it is within their sphere of influence, and they are committed to that, they find it important, and they feel congruent about it. That is a very important discussion. Third factor that would affect your motivation to achieve something, achieve your life goals or outcomes you set for yourself, is how you say that, how you word that. Once a parent set a goal that I want all my children to go abroad and get their university degrees from a foreign university. Sounds very noble. They may have had a very good reason to come to that conclusion and wanting to make that future available to their children. But that's a little problem. You're setting the goal for somebody else. Yes, they are your children, but you're setting the goal for somebody else. What if they don't want to go? What if they don't want to take university qualification? What if they want to finish their school and then get into a job or business or go into a religious order? The goal you set should be for you. It should be for you, not for somebody else. If you really want to set a goal for somebody else, you actually need to set your part of the goal. Like in the case of that parent, he or she can set a goal that I will collect this amount of money, so if they ever need to go abroad, they can, which is within their influence, which is a goal set for themselves. But they cannot set a goal saying my children should learn in foreign universities. So where is the locus of control? On whose plate the final outcome of this goal lies? It needs to be you. You need to be liable, you need to be responsible, and nobody else. Similar goal was set by a son, a very young child. I think he was 16 at that time. So this son said, I want to get qualified to a foreign university. I said, that's awesome. And which university? Is there any specific reason for you to select that? And then he said, yes, my parents are so looking forward for me to go to a foreign university. And I want to bring a smile to their face. So this child is not going to a foreign university because they found a university that teach a very specific curriculum that he really needs to learn. He is going there to bring a smile to his parents' face. So the eventual outcome is actually on the parent, not on the child, because who knows, child could get selected, but parents might go through their own drama in that moment. He would rush to him then and show them the letter. Oh my God, I'm selected, I'm so proud. And they would just say, very nice, very good. And they might not give the heartfelt acceptance this child is looking forward to. Not because they are not happy, rather because they are not in a place to show that they may or may not be in a place to show that happiness. So your goal should be for you. It should be important for you right now in this time of your life, and you should be congruent. There's another aspect. There's the aspect of who you are. There are those of us who is good at starting things, and then there are those who are not good at starting things. There are those who feel a tremendous level of inertia or resistance just to start. No reason. It is not that they have some logic to not start. Rather, it's their nature. They would take a little bit of time to start. And then there are others who just jump in with both feet. What are you? What sort of a person you are? Do you get an idea and do you jump in with both feet? Or are you reluctant? Do you take time? Do you have to overcome your mental inertia? Then there are those who are really awesome at executing. They know every day what they need to finish to get to their goal. They are really good at executing. And there are those who are really bad at executing. They would struggle day to day. What about you? Are you really good at executing, or do you need help executing? And finally, there are those who knows when the goal is achieved. If you remember that gentleman who wanted to set a goal as improving English, he did not finish the goal. He has done with it, but in his mind he hasn't closed that file. It's still open. So when you have achieved goals, you need to have ways to know whether you have achieved it enough, and then tell yourself, I'm done with this. I have achieved what I have set out to achieve. So there are those who are really good at doing that, and there are those who are really bad at doing that. They would struggle to do that. So you need to know what you are in that. Are you a good starter, or do you have inertia? Are you a good executor, or do you have resistance? Are you a good finisher, or do you tend to keep things open? This affects your motivation. This affects your ability to achieve the outcome that you're looking forward to achieve. So those are the 4 criteria that would affect your motivation, and managing them would get you to a really awesome place regarding your life outcomes. Is this important for me now? Am I congruent about this? Am I setting this for myself? what sort of a person I am. NLP has multiple processes to deal with this situation. Well-formed outcomes lays a good foundation, and we'll be talking about we'll be comparing well-formed outcomes with SMART goals in our third installation of this series. The comparison of NLP outcome processes and then the goal processes that people tend to use. Most people don't use any process, they would just write something down. So if you use some sort of a process to think about the goal that you want to achieve, that is awesome. And NLP brings trusted and proven methodologies of outcome processes. NLP has multiple outcome processes. At NLP practitioner level, that we usually cover two outcome processes: well-formed outcomes and achievable outcomes. They have similarities. There are differences in them. However, what I wanted to do in the third video is to talk to you about outcome process and the difference between the goals that we talk about, especially the SMART goals that we talk about, and how to make use of the power of outcome processes to get you closer to your goal. Hope you learned something. This is Gamakasri, Chief Trainer and Coach for Mind Designs International. Remember, if you haven't watched the first video, PAW process, please go ahead and do it now. And look forward to hear from us again on the third video of this series, comparison between SMART goals and NLP outcome process. Take care. Jai Shri.